Good morning and welcome to the next video session on learning to use FSMail. Recently what we've done, if you remember, is some videos. I'll show you back here. We've done a video back here on how to use Outlook to access PST files on your desktop with FSMail. We've also done one here on migrating your data from Exchange Outlook to FSMail. So we're not going to go over that, but I do want to demonstrate to you. Here's an Outlook. You'll notice there is a mailbox here. There is a PST file, or a personal file, or an archive file. This one is called Bradley-2005. And there's another one down here called jcrook.com. And in each of these, you'll notice that there are a number of folders inside of each of those PST files. Now, what I've done for the purposes of this session is actually to address the labels that get migrated. These folders become labels in FSMail, and even in a situation, let me see if I can show you one, like this one, where we have nested folders. We in fact will end up with nested labels. There's a good example of it. Nested labels in FSMail. And that's what I'd like to show you today. And I would also like to show you how to straighten that up and make it a little more usable once you have done the migration. So this is where we're coming from. I've already migrated this data up. And you'll notice here the labels come in. This is that Bradley-2005 file, and it becomes the front end of the label for each of the folders there. Now, if we get down to this budget folder inside of 2005, you remember it had a sub-entry. The sub-folder, this Internet to UCADE folder, actually does come up as a sub-label, but the top level is always Bradley 2005 / and then the folder name. And gee, they get very hard to read, because there's a limit to the amount of space that you have in that column on the left-hand side. So what we'd really like to have is the Bradley 2005 as a label and all of those other entries underneath it. Now if we move on down, you'll see exactly the same thing with the jcrook.com folders. Exactly the same kind of thing. Also, you'll see, now this was the inbox. Let me click back a minute to Outlook. If we go back here to the inbox here, you will notice that there were 3 folders inside that inbox. So some of you may have done this. And those items show up as inbox / and then the folder name. Much like the PST file, except that this one is actually called inbox. Okay. Now with that in mind, the first thing we're going to do is go to Settings and then Labels. And we're going to create a new label, and that label is going to be Bradley-2005. Now, watch what happens here. All we're going to do is just create that label. We're not going to nest it or anything. We're just going to create the label. And now all of a sudden, you see this? The folder labels inside of Bradley-2005 actually become sub-labels to the Bradley 2005, and that was the first thing we wanted. That's nice. That's very good. Now the other thing we need to do, you remember we had exactly the same thing down here with jcrook.com. I just wanted to make sure of the spelling of it because you have to know that. It has to be exact when you create this label. We're going to go back up here, and I'm going to create another label like that. And now you'll notice that that label, when we get down here, is there now. And all of those sub-labels are in fact sub-labels now under this. Well, okay, what we'd like to do now is do that same thing with the inbox slash. We've got inbox slash AJCU. But unfortunately, we can't do that. And the problem is that there is already a system inbox label. Okay, so there's a system inbox label here. There's nothing really for us. We can't load into that inbox as a part of this migration, and we can't create an inbox label. What I am going to do is just create an exchange. That's just an arbitrary name. I just picked it at random. Okay, well, I didn't pick it at random. We moved from an exchange, so I could call it exchange inbox, I suppose. But then we're going to go down here to where the inbox is, if I can find them. There they are. And now we're going to edit each one of these. We're going to start with this one. We're going to get rid of the inbox portion of that label, and we're going to nest it under exchange. There it is. Okay, save that one. And we're going to do the same thing with inbox alumni. Get rid of that first. And then we'll locate this on exchange. Should have paid closer attention. There it is. And if you have a bunch of these, this takes a little time. I was smart enough not to create very many of those. Smart enough. That's a joke. And now we're done. That's all we need to do here. We do not have to save this. It's automatically saved. We can actually just go back to the inbox here. You'll see that. And now our labels are considerably different. We've got this Bradley 2005 master label, and if we expand that by clicking here, whoops, wrong place, clicking here, there are all those subfolders. And that looks now very much like it did in Outlook. You can collapse and expand it. Here are the ones that were in the inbox. That's called Exchange here now. And then here is jcrook.com, and there are all the sub-entries under it. Now, there's a possibility that that you may have had to take a large PST file or a large archive file and split it into two simply because you had so much data to move that you couldn't move it all at once. And in that case, you're going to do the same thing that we did with the inbox. You'll go in and, assuming you want to put those labels back together, you would go in and rename the that's not true. Let's go back and let's actually look at what you would do very quickly here. We'll go to labels, and let's suppose that what we wanted to do was include the jcrook.com labels up under the Bradley 2005 folder. And we go down here to, let's just do one of them. We'll just do this dancing. We'll edit it. We don't need to change the name of it. All we want to do is change the parent of it to Bradley 2005 and save that. And now you'll notice dancing is no longer here. But if we go up to 2005, there's the 2005 label, and right underneath it, as soon as we get down to it, is that dancing label. Okay? So that's actually all of the things that you would need to be able to do to manage your labels. There is one other thing you can do. I will show you this. Let's take that jcrook.com label down here, and let's hide it. Right there. And then, when we go back, you'll notice that you can only hide the highest level of these. But when we go back here, we go over and look at this, you'll see, okay, I've got some other folders here. I'm going to collapse up. You'll see there's the Bradley 2005, there's the exchange label, but in this folder here, there is no jcrook.com. Although, if you click on the More button down here, then you can move on down and you'll find that jcrook.com. It's only hidden at that top level there. Okay? Well, that completes this session. I hope you learned something, and I hope it helps. See you again next time.